Hey squad, welcome back. Now I recently released a video on how to produce an 80s dancehall reggae track. If you haven't seen that one, make sure you click the link in the description to take you right there. Now as promised in that video, I said I was going to show you how to quickly mix and master that track, and that's what I'm planning to do today. Now let me play you a quick snippet of the mastered version of the track, and then I'll go back and take you through the entire process on how we got here. So let's have a listen. Okay, so what you're looking at on screen right here are a couple of tools that I'm using for mastering. In fact, this one here is the mastering tool, which we'll look at the end. And this one here is monitoring and optimizing my loudness in order to meet the distribution protocols for streaming services like Spotify, etc. So let's go back to the start. I'm going to switch these off. And we're going to kick things off with the drums. I always like to start with my drums. So let's just mute everything and just work our way through step by step. Now, starting with my drums, I always group my drums together into a single bus. Now to do that, all you need to do is select all of your drum parts, just as I've got here. Come over here. This would normally say stereo out. That's your output section. And you go to bus and you select a free bus output for your drums. I'm already sending it to bus 10 and I've labeled bus 10 drums. Now, all of my drums are going through to bus 10, as you can see over here. So let's start with the kick drum. As we covered in the previous video, pretty much all of the sounds in this entire production is generated from Logic stock instruments. And we're using Ultra Beat here for the kick. What I've got here on the kick, I've got this compressor here controlling dynamics. I've also got an EQ where I'm filtering off all of this top end. Let's bring the top end back in. Okay. We don't want that. I want it nice and dead like this. Okay. The other thing I've got going on is leveling. I'm making sure that the kick drum is not dominating too much. It's got to have enough weight and body, but definitely not drowning out all of the other instruments. Okay, next up is my snare. Let's bring in the snare. Okay, so on the snare, we've got a little bit of brightness up here. We're bringing in a bit of low mid to give a bit of depth to the actual body of the snare. I've also got a compressor on here. Now, if you haven't seen my video on Logic's vintage compressor circuits, make sure you check it out. All of these different compressors within Logic color the sound very differently, and you want to try out different circuits to see which one gives you the color that you're looking for. Also, we've got this tape delay. I've got the 16th note slap on here. Listen to the snare without and then with. Okay, we're creating a shadow effect of the snare, and it's very typical of reggae music. Okay, next up, the hi-hats. They're very subtle, they're not too loud. We've got to filter all of this bottom end and middle and even into the high mids. We're filtering all of that out. Let's keep going. Next up, we've got tambourines, and let's see what we got going on here. Nothing really happening on the EQ, but the compressor should be doing something. Yeah, just a little bit of gain reduction at the very top there. We don't want to crank this up too much. It's just more for effect than anything. Okay, moving on. Next up, we've got another set of hats. Let's listen to these ones. Okay, and now we're creating some stereo width. Let's hear these together. And then finally with the drums, we've got these claps here. The other thing the claps are benefiting from is on bus 7, I've got this reverb, this chrome reverb here with quite an extreme setting, and I'm sending a lot of the signal through. So let's bypass this and listen to the claps without the effects, and then we'll switch them on. Let's switch these on. And besides the claps, we've also got the snares going through to this reverb as well, just to give it that extra bit of ambience. So as you can see over here on the group bus, look at the volume of the drums. Right, so it's peaking currently at minus 16 dB. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring in this amazing plugin from Waves, Tony Maserati GRP. Now this one here is great for grouping your drums and giving them the fire they need. Let's have a quick listen. Now check out the video I've done specifically on this and how it actually impacts your mixes. In this mix, I'm going to group my guitars and I'm going to group my keyboards, and I'm going to use this on the groups as well. The other thing I've got going on here is this plugin here by Isotope Ozone 2 Imager. You can download this for free right now. I've got links to both of these. In fact, this one you can download and try out for free. I've got a link in the description, as well as this one. This one is completely free. Grab that one as well. I want to give my drums some additional stereo width using this plugin. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, let's keep it moving. So next up, let me show you what I've got going on with all of these effects here. I've grouped them together again. I'm sending them to bus 9 and I've named that bus SFX. And again, I've got the Maserati on there and I'm using one of the presets. This one here is the BGV Legato. I just want this processor to glue these things together and make them work as one single unit. Let's have a listen bypass and then with the effect switched in. Again, a subtle effect, but definitely making a difference in the mix. It's all of the small changes that actually help to build up your mix. So let's have a listen to the drums and the effects at this section. Okay, moving on to the keys. Okay, so let's bring in the keys one by one and I'll show you what's actually going on. So starting off with the piano, let's play that back. Okay, so with the piano, if we come over here to the EQ, we've taken out all of this bottom end down here. Let's have a quick listen. Okay, taking this all out. So we're just having the high, mids and the high. The other thing we got added to the keys is a compressor, but this is more for color rather than necessarily gain reduction. And the last thing we got here, of course, is a tape delay. Let's listen to that. Great. Okay, next thing we've got here is this transistor organ. Okay, now let's bring in this jazz organ here. It's going to just do a little lick. Okay, nice little lick there. Got a nice echo as well on this one here. And then next we've got this tone wheel organ. Let's bring it in with the rest. And let's just doing some chops. And then down the bottom here we've got this synth part. Right, listen to the synth on its own with the stereo delay bypassed. Okay, now with. Lovely. And finally, we got down here this dance basic lead. Let's have a listen to that. And let's take these off. The stereo delay and the spreader are really sweetening this thing up. Lovely. Now the other important thing you need to pay attention to, let's look at the keys here. Look how I'm balancing out the levels, making sure that everything, it has the right level setting and nothing is dominating and taking over. I'm also using some panning as well to position things on the left and right channels. So we're building up a nice stereo image. And finally on the keys group bus, look what we've got here. We've got this little tool here by Isotope. We've also got the Maserati and we've also got the Imager. Now we've covered these two already. On the Maserati, I've got keys selected and I'm using this preset here, BGV Lift Up. Okay, now I just want to show you this vinyl plugin as well by Isotope. Again, it's another free one you can download. I'm using this to age the sound of the keys and give it a bit of warping. I'm going to set the key sound to around 1960s, and it's as though the keys are being played on a record deck. Let's have a listen. We can go a bit extreme. Let's pull it back. Yeah, just a little bit of subtle aging to it. All of those small adjustments give the character to your mix. Lovely. Okay, finally down here we've got our guitars. Let's have a listen to these. Now we've got some guitar chops here. And this here is just adding another layer of percussive effect on top of the chops that we've got going on with the piano and with this tone wheel organ here. And then we've got a guitar riff going on here. And finally, we've got the bass line up here. So let's play back the bass in isolation. So this compressor is managing dynamics, and I've got this set to clip over here in terms of the distortion. Also, I've got this soft tube saturation knob, which is an absolute must for any kind of synth bass that you're using, even for electric bass. I'll have a link in the description as well to download this one for free. And of course, my current go-to bass processor, the Waves CLA Bass. Definitely check this one out. Links will be in the description. So let's listen to all of this mixed together before we apply the mastering tools, okay? Cool. All right, next up, the mastering tools. Hey squad, just reminding you that if you're interested in a personalized online one-to-one tuition session or a consultation, just head over to my website, musictechtraining.com, and complete the contact form with your details and your requirements, and I'll be happy to get right back to you. Okay, let's crack on with the video. Okay, so we're here. I really didn't want the video to drag on too long. I've done a whirlwind run through of the mix. As you can see, we've balanced things and set levels for these instruments and sounds to work well together. And now we're coming to the master section. So let's switch these on. And as you can see, I've got two modules here. The Infected Mushroom Pusher, which is a mastering tool. And then you've got this WLM meter, which is a loudness metering tool. I'm not really going to go into this one. This one here is for another video. Now, this tool here is great because you've got lots of presets that you can use for mastering to get you started on your mastering, also on your buses as well as on individual tracks. Okay, definitely want to check out. Both of these are by Waves. So now what I'm going to do is play you back the track as it is mixed and then switch in the mastering tool. This one here is just monitoring, so we don't need to worry about this. This can stay on, but we're going to switch in the IM pusher and have a listen to what this does once it's switched in. Now remember, as I said before, this project is going to be made available for you to download from the members area, and the join button is going to be activated real soon, so make sure you check back for that. If I'm bringing you value, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment. Finally, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again real soon. I'm Deuce, I'm out. Peace.